Hello, welcome to online class. Myself, Syed Firoz Ahmed, Head of the Department of Botany, Nehru Degree College, NT Keri, Hubballi. Today I am going to take some of the aspects related to applications of plant tissue culture. Plant tissue culture, as you know, it is one of the technologies in biotechnology where we culture any explant into a complete plantlet in an in vitro condition. When I say that an explant is cultured in tissue culture technology, the explant may be subcellular, or it may be a cell, or a tissue, or an organ, or it may be an organ system, or it may be an organism itself for a particular purpose. And in vitro condition is a condition where exactly we supply everything artificially so that the explant gets differentiated into a complete organism or an organ through which we can exploit and take the advantage of that particular cultures. Now coming to the plant tissue culture is used in different fields and avenues. To be very precise, I will be discussing some of the applications of plant tissue culture such as the large scale multiplication, that is micropropagation. Second is the secondary metabolites, wire hybridization, that means we can just take the advantage of tissue culture in obtaining intergeneric crosses. Then soma variation, soma clonal variation, disease-free plants for the production of disease-free plants, production of haploid, triploid and polyploid plants. Next, somatic hybridization, synthetic seeds, etc. etc. Coming to the first and foremost application of plant tissue culture, that is micropropagation. As you know that tissue culture is a technology where any explant can be grown into a complete plantlet. In micropropagation, what we do is we grow millions of plants within a period of 30 days to 40 days at a time in an in vitro condition by taking a limited stock plant. For example, in this micropropagation, what we do is we will select which plant has to be grown through tissue culture technology. From that selected plant, we will take an explant, maybe a leaf, maybe a node, maybe an internode, maybe a bud, etc. etc. That explant will be subjected for a process called as surface sterilization, which we do with a chemical called as sodium hypochlorite. After surface sterilization is done, that explant is cut into number of parts. For example, if we are taking an internode as an explant, that internode can be cut into 100 bits after self-sterilization. And after taking each and every bit of internode, inoculate that bit of internode in a culture media which is supportive for the growth and development of internodal explant. After it is inoculated, we will allow it to grow and then we will induce for multiple shoot bud production. So from one single piece of internode, we will produce good number of shoots by inducing multiple shoot bud induction by changing the composition of the culture media. For example, we took one piece of internode and we have cut that internode into 100 pieces. From each piece of internode, we can get 100 buds, so that 10,000 cultures can be done through subcultures. So after each bud is grown, after each piece of internode is grown in subculture technology, we just induce shoot elongation in those buds. And after shoot elongation is done, we just subject that culture for organogenesis or morphogenesis, because of which the rooting is taken place, the shoot buds are taken place, and ultimately it will get differentiated into a plant. The plant will be subjected for a process called as hardening or and after the plant is exposed for hardening or acclimatization, the plant will be ready for plantation in the fields. So this is how micro-propagation will work, because of which we get millions of plants within a period of 30 days or 40 days at a time by using a small piece of an explant. For example, I took only one internode. I have not taken the entire plant over here. I have taken a piece of plant, and from that piece of plant, we have further multiplied those pieces, and we have used multiple shoot organization so that good number of plants are obtained. Here I have shown the scheme. This is the stock plant where a piece of internode is taken, and from that piece of internode, we subject this piece of internode for a process called as sterilization, surface sterilization, and after surface sterilization is done, this will be cut into 100 pieces, and all those 100 pieces, when they are proliferated, they grow into number of plants. And here what we do is we induce each plant to produce good number of buds, shoot buds, so that they differentiate into number of plants, and all those plants will be subjected for a process called as acclimatization or hardening, where we expose the plant for unfavorable conditions gradually, and after acclimatization is over, this plant will be set free so that this plant will be planted in the crop field. So within a limited period of time, millions of plants can be grown. In India, micro-propagation is done for banana plant, where stock plant will be used, and that stock, because of multiple shoot differentiation, good number of plants are grown, and at a time million plants will be grown, and each plant, if it is disposed or if it is sold to a minimum cost, we get good lucrative benefit out of micro propagation. So this is one of the advantages of tissue culture technology. Coming to tissue culture technology, can also be used for extraction of secondary metabolites. Dear friends, before going to the application of tissue culture to extract secondary metabolites, I would like to say, what are secondary metabolites? Secondary metabolites are the chemical substances which will not be used for the metabolic activities. The chemical substances such as carbohydrates, proteins, fats, organic acids, which will be used during the physiological processes, particularly during the combustion process or respiration process, those chemicals are called as primary metabolites. The chemical substances which are stored in the plant but not used, those chemical substances are called as secondary metabolites. For example, alkaloids, terpenoids, etc., etc. So these secondary metabolites are of great value in the field of medicine, in the field of pharmaceutical industry. So all these secondary metabolites which are present in some of the medicinal plants can be grown artificially through tissue culture technology. They can be micro-propagated, and from those plants these secondary metabolites can be extracted. I have an example to share. That is, there is one secondary metabolite which is present, which is commonly called as saponin, and this saponin secondary metabolite is extracted from a Chinese herb which is called as a miracle herb, and this saponin suppresses the human immunodeficiency viruses. It suppresses the multiplication of HIV virus in human beings. That means this has proven as a life-saving drug for HIV patients and AIDS patients. So this secondary metabolite can be extracted from this plant, and it is also very important for treatment of cancer. So that means this saponin secondary metabolite proves to be a valuable medicine for both the cancer treatment as well as the HIV treatment. I have, dear friends, here I have a slide which is showing the names of the plants on one side and the secondary metabolites which are present in those particular plants. The saponin which I told about, which is extracted from Chinese herb, the technical name of the Chinese herb is Lithospermum erythrorhizan, and it is this plant which will yield us saponin, which is a medicine for cancer as well as HIV. Well, there is another plant called as Atropa belladonna. Atropa belladonna yields atropine, which will nullify the effect of poison, and whenever any person commits suicide by consuming poison, to neutralize the effect of poison, atropine phosphate is given. And this life-saving drug is extracted from the root system of this plant called as Atropa belladonna, which is a member of family Solanaceae. And these roots can be grown in a large scale level through tissue culture technology. Only roots will be differentiated without the differentiation of shoot, so that those roots will yield us a valuable medicine called as atropine. Similarly, Nicotiana tabacum yields nicotine, and these are the different plants. Coming to Cinchona, this yields quinine, which will treat malaria. Next, I would like to say something about the germplasm preservation. So, germplasm is the total content of gene which is transmitted to the offsprings through germ cell. So that can be preserved so that the germplasm do not get extinct, to preserve the medicinally valuable plants or economically valuable plants, so that they continue for the future generation. We have this tissue culture to prove as an advantage in germplasm conservation. So what we do is, we take the germplasm and we maintain the germplasm through tissue culture technology by suspending the growth and development of the calyces or the roots or the flowers or any of the organs present in that particular valuable plant, and those can be maintained in a lab, which can be called as the pollen bank, the seed bank, or the plant. For particularly this germplasm conservation will be done for herbaceous plants, not for the arborescent forms, because arborescent forms cannot be maintained in a lab condition. Herbaceous plants can be maintained in the lab in miniature form, that is through tissue culture technology, so that we maintain the germplasm, and whenever that germplasm is required, we can take the explant of the germplasm and differentiate that explant into a plantlet and grow naturally, so that they are preserved for future generation. This is one of the applications of tissue culture technology. Then coming to another important and most advantageous application of tissue culture technology, that is somatic hybridization. This somatic hybridization yields intergeneric process. We can cross distant varieties of the plants and animals. It is also called as hybridoma technology in animal tissue culture, and it is because of this somatic hybridization only we are able to produce monoclonal antibiotics, which is a hybridization between myeloma cell and the lymphoma cell, cancer cell, as well as the B lymphocyte cell. So that technology in animal tissue culture is called as hybridoma technology. The somatic hybridization, as I told you, it is one of the technologies where the protoplast of two different cells are hybridized, so that a hybridoma cell is obtained, and that hybridoma cell can be differentiated into a plant which will be a combination of two different plants. The best examples which we have pertaining to somatic hybridization are Pomato and Raphanus brassica. Pomato is a combination of tomato plant and potato plant, where we can grow two vegetables in one plant, and this plant is a result of somatic hybridization. The second plant example for somatic hybridization is Raphanus brassica, which is a combination of Raphanus sativus and Brassica oleracea, that is cabbage. So that means cabbage and radish